Life doesn't always fall apart all at once. Sometimes it happens one loss at a time. That was Naomi's story. She left her homeland with her husband, hoping for a better future. But instead of finding peace, tragedy found her. Her husband died. Then both of her sons died. In a foreign land, Naomi was left with nothing but grief. No husband, no children, no future. She believed God had turned against her. When she heard that the Lord had provided food once again in Bethlehem, she decided to return home. Her two daughters-in-law, Ruth and Orpah, began the journey with her. But Naomi stopped them. She urged them to go back to their own families. She had nothing left to offer them. No inheritance, no security, no promises, only uncertainty. Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye and returned home. No one blamed her. It seemed like the reasonable choice. But Ruth made a different decision. She refused to leave. She refused to abandon Naomi in her darkest moment. Then Ruth spoke words that have echoed through history. Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Those weren't just words of loyalty. They were words of faith. Ruth had no idea what awaited her in Bethlehem. She had no guarantee that life would become easier. She wasn't following a plan. She was following God. Sometimes faith means taking the next step without knowing where the road will lead. When Ruth arrived in Bethlehem, she was poor. She gathered leftover grain in the fields just to survive. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't easy, but she remained faithful in the small things. What Ruth didn't know was that God was already preparing the next chapter. The field where she worked belonged to a man named Boaz, a man of integrity, a man chosen by God. Boaz noticed Ruth's kindness, humility, and faithfulness. In time, he became her husband. God restored what seemed impossible to restore. The widow who arrived with empty hands became part of a remarkable story. Ruth became the great-grandmother of King David, and generations later, her name appeared in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. Think about that. A foreign widow with no future became part of God's plan to bring the Savior into the world. All because of one faithful decision. Maybe you're standing at a crossroads today. One path looks comfortable, the other requires faith. One feels safe, the other requires trust. Remember Ruth. She didn't know how God would provide. She simply chose to follow him. Faith isn't always about seeing the whole journey. Sometimes it's simply choosing the next right step. Your act of faithfulness today may become the foundation of tomorrow's miracle. The world celebrates dramatic moments, but God often works through quiet obedience, through unseen sacrifice, through ordinary people who refuse to give up. Never underestimate what God can do through one faithful decision. He can turn sorrow into joy, emptiness into abundance, loss into purpose. The road ahead may be uncertain, but the God who leads you is not. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep choosing faith, even when you cannot see the destination. Because one faithful decision can change your life forever.